Do you know something? There's nearly 7 billion humans settled all over this little planet. But now, for the first time ever, more than half of us are living in cities. Without anyone even noticing it, mankind has evolved into an urban species. Things will never be the same again.
With over 18 million in population, Lagos stands out among all the states in the area of vehicular traffic. Over 8 million vehicles ply different routes within the state. However, with the rise in number of vehicles in the state every year, there are signs of strain. On most Nigerian roads, it is a common sight to see heavy traffic beneath the face of the roads, and oftentimes the populace always have bitter complaints on the ineffectiveness of road transportation. As a result of lack of effective alternative transportation in Lagos and in Nigeria as a whole, the situation has ensured a series of accidents on the road. It has been suggested by some transportation experts that in order to decongest the road, the government should explore the water transportation. An example was given on the truck for cargoes. It has been said that a route on water should be provided for them to avoid accidents such as this. Different parking jetties are situated in strategic places in Lagos, and these, over the years, have been underutilized. Apart from these, it will serve as a way of speedy delivery of cargoes in different ports, and delays experienced on the ports will be a thing of the past. These will also help in indiscriminate parking at the seaport in Nepapa and at the Ford truck terminal in Ogere. During the peak hours, the traffic in different parts of Lagos is always a sight to behold, as ever-laden traffic moves one after the other, and with the nature of Lagos roads, it is always a risky adventure. Again, the tertiary institutions within Lagos metropolis are not shielded from this situation, especially University of Lagos, which is surrounded by water. Some stakeholders of the school have agreed to the non-use of the opportunities that abound in alternative transportation. University of Lagos, unlike other institutions, can conveniently create an alternative for its team and students and lecturers alike, as this opportunity yet to be tapped. The reason for this was explained by one of the founder fathers of the university, Professor Adalimo.
The Department of Geography in the University of Lagos started as early as 1962 with other departments in the social science faculty, and like all other departments, it was truncated by the problem that arose in 1964-65, and certainly it was a very traumatic period, but we survived it and restarted the department in 1965 with the students that were already in the department, and with staff recruited from different institutions in the country and abroad. I happen to be one of those who came from abroad in that year and joined with Professor R.A. Akinola to build up the department. And gradually we had more staff coming in and building up the department until we reached an apogee, I would say, where we had as many as 12 professors in the Department of Geography. It was the largest contingent of professors for any department that I can remember in that period in the university. And the Geography department had the pride of place and continues to do so till now. We've had many glowing attributes, both in terms of staff and student population. And I can say, without fear of contradiction, that some of our students are the best students, around. And many of them have grown up now to become professors in their own rights. And in fact, some of them have been my dean in the faculty. So it's been a very, very, welcome development, and the department is still moving on very well. Well, geography is a subject that trains the mind. The world is on the stage, and it helps you to relate things to each other. I guess one of the principal laws of geography is that everything is related to everything else. And you have to do a holistic study of things in order to be able to get at the root of whatever problem you are dealing with and be able to provide solutions to those problems. And that's what makes geography tick, so that you do not have the way that the economics say that all things being equal. All things are never equal in geography. You take each factor and you see how it affects the subject that you are dealing with. And at the end of the day, you are able to look at the various facets of the problem and deal with them. Interestingly, geography deals with every aspect of human life. And because of this, we have people who have studied geography dealing with various problems in various spheres of influence. And it's a very fascinating subject, I must tell you. They don't make noise, no, but they work quietly and effectively. Of course, you know Professor Mabokuje, as a national figure, an international figure. There are many others like him who you don't hear about, but who are making their inputs in the various areas in which they specialize. So recently there was a program that has to do with land use, and one of us here, Professor Adeni, was chairman of the program. It's a national problem, and he is providing solutions to that problem. There are problems in the area of transportation, which we are providing solutions to. Recently, I was at a conference in Atlanta, Georgia, where I presented a paper on the transportation situation in Nigeria, particularly waterway transportation and the areas of investment that people could be interested in that area. So there are many areas in which geographers are making their inputs quietly but effectively in the national problem. At the start of this university, the design was such as to utilize all areas of transportation. In fact, one of the principal projects was to have a hovercraft to move between here and Ikoyi, because at that time there were many residences in Ikoyi where the staff were staying and then coming out here to work. But you must realize, and I hope you do, that the university cannot on its own, develop that kind of transportation system. It has to depend on government or the private sector to put that in place. The government has not provided the funds, to make that possible, and the private sector apparently is not really interested, and that's why that has not happened. More recently, of course, there was also the design to have water-based transportation in different parts of Lagos, including the University of Lagos. And I know that a place was earmarked for the University of Lagos to have access to water transportation. But again, that has not developed. You know that Lagos State is developing various jetties in different parts of Lagos, and it was to develop one here for the University of Lagos. We hope that eventually that will take place, and when that takes place, then we'll be able to utilize water transport as we should utilize it. The other areas of transportation, bus transport, are being developed very effectively and utilized. But we hope and we look forward to the time when water transportation will join, and we'll be able to benefit from that tremendously. It's again another circumstance of the economy. I think the design originally, built into it a link with the University of Lagos. But it was felt that that link, especially if the route was through the university itself, would be disruptive of activities in the university. So it was suggested that it should be outside the university, in fact, precisely at Ilaje, with the road going out through to Yaba. But again, probably because of the economic constraints, that was not done. If you drive along the Third Mainland Bridge, you will see that there is provision for some kind of, exit beyond the university, but the exit itself was not built, and that's why we are still in the situation we are in today. And of course, again, because the capital city moved from Lagos, all things in that direction probably were suspended. And if Lagos gets the special status that it is seeking for, maybe we'll still be able to do something in that regard. But that as I understand it, was the reason why that link was not put in.
There have been huge outcries by different stakeholders to annex this alternative. If this is annexed, then movement along the coastal area from the university to other JETA stops will generate revenue for the university, create job opportunities, and consequently decongest the traffic within and outside the school.